So in today's video, we're going to be talking about investing in Team of the Week for this week's upgrade SBCs. So just before the video does start, a quick little ad on a trading service I offer over on Twitch for the cheapest trading guides out there for just £4, €4, all free with Amazon Prime. You'll receive daily trading and investing guides covering PlayStation, Xbox and PC with an array of methods covering all budgets. And I've been trading for over 10 years, making over 100 million in multiple different FIFAs, and now for the last 4 years I've made 10 million coins in just the first month. So in today's video, what we're going to be doing is talking about investing in Team of the Week for this week's upgrade SBCs, because in previous weeks there's been a lot of money investing in the Team of the Week, and we're going to talk about the trends this week. So Team of the Weeks over the last month have been really good to invest in, but in the last 2 weeks they've been pretty woeful. Now this all comes down to the supply and the demand of Team of the Weeks. Supply, completely irrelevant. Demand, completely relevant. EA has basically neglected the demand for these Team of the Weeks for the last 2 weeks now, because we saw these cards obviously rise really nicely, they then went down a little bit, and then rose really nicely again. But then after the peak, they just went down and down and down, to the point where the current Team of the Weeks are literally going for 17k. So, what are the plays regarding Team of the Weeks? Well, there's already been one play this weekend, but it doesn't really matter that you've missed out on that play, because that play just kind of solidifies a trend that we normally see. So, a trend that we saw happen last night / this afternoon is that what we saw happen was Team of the Weeks yesterday dropped basically yesterday about 10 PM. Even we can look at today all the way through to about 1 AM this morning. So 10 PM through to 1 AM, Team of the Week stayed under 16k. Most importantly, they went under 15k yesterday. Well, today what they've already done is they've already rebounded up to about 17.5k, meaning from the lows to the highs, these cards are basically up about 3k. And they'll probably continue to rise going into this afternoon. Now, the cards have rebounded about 3k, and if I was to go and sell them now, I'm basically already making 2k profit. So the nice thing that we've seen happen with Team of the Weeks is they get panic sold when they're not really needed, but then they rise nicely into the hype. Well, traditionally there isn't really good SBCs on a Saturday, because Saturday is player SBC day, and player SBCs compared to the icon, the heroes, aren't very well demanded. So the rebound we've seen in the last 24 hours shouldn't actually be anything on the rebound that we see in the next 24 hours, which is why I recommend investing in Team of the Weeks. So this is a very consistent trend that we've seen happen week in, week out, that again they get panic sold and then they rise into the hype. For example, here's last week's Team of the Weeks. So this is last week's Team of the Weeks. We can see that on the Saturday that they got panic sold there down to 24k, but, so that's the Saturday evening. But by the Sunday evening, so before the SBCs, they went up to 27. So there's 24 to 27 that week. But then we saw the same thing happen on the Sunday, where they got panic sold down there to 21, but they rebounded to 24 before the SBC. So a very consistent trend, without any sort of risk whatsoever, is basically buying these Team Weeks when they get panic sold and selling them in the hype of the 6 PM the following day. So, sometimes this is the cheapest around about 8 PM, sometimes this is the cheapest around about 10 PM, sometimes this is the cheapest midnight. It's really we'll wait and see how it goes. But what you're looking for is you're looking for the cards that basically drop minimum about 20%. So for example, if Team of the Weeks, we can use this week right here. Team of the Weeks go up to 27, we're seeing them drop down to 21k. That's about 20 to 25%. Now that doesn't necessarily mean buy them as soon as they go down 20%. That means start watching them when they go down 20%, because as soon as they stop dropping after they drop 20% is when we're going to look at buying them, because it's just a consistent trend. I mean, 24k, we see it go down there to 20k. So again, sadly not quite 20%, but I'd imagine, you know, off that hour there might have been a buy time. So it's a little bit hard. But again, 15-20% minimum is what we're looking for. And then what you're going to do is you're going to then go and sell them in the hype of the 6 PM. We can see right here that they peaked at 7 PM, and then they peaked at 5 PM, 1700 hours, and then they weren't needed at 8, which is why they crashed. We can see right here that they peaked around about 4 or 5 PM, and then they weren't needed, and then they crashed. We can see right here that they peaked around about 4 or 5 PM, then they weren't needed, and they crashed at 6. So a very consistent trend is if they're not needed, is that they peak on the 4 or 5 PM in the hype and then crash. Now obviously you can gamble on Team Weeks being needed, but Team Weeks haven't been needed for 3 weeks. Team Weeks are basically what I call high risk, high reward. The problem is people have selective hearing and they only hear high reward and then get angry when they're not needed. This is basically the same sort of thing as like gambling that a road to the final who's not necessarily going to win their game is going to win the game. There is literally no difference. I'd say the weatherman doesn't control the weather. I don't control if they're in SBCs or not. You can gamble on there being good weather, aka them needed. But again, it's, you know, I can't guarantee anything. So the safe play is basically go and buy them on the Saturday, presuming they're not needed, so today, anywhere from about 6 PM through to 10 PM, and then go and sell them 5 PM on Sunday, and then complete the do the exact same trend. On the Sunday, you're going to go and buy them, if they're not needed, anywhere from around about 8 PM, 10 PM, and then go and sell them on the Monday, because on the Monday there's also hype for them to be in the SBCs. Now, if they are needed in the SBCs on the Sunday, or they are needed on the Monday, and they have a nice spike, sell in that spike, and then buy back on the 9, 10 PM. The reason this occurs is because obviously everyone's doing the SBCs within about half an hour, so there's a concentrated amount of people doing SBCs, and then in the evening that drops off and the cards get supplied, especially if we're talking, you know, on Sunday, and then they'll go down, down, down into the evening, and then they'll go and follow that hype of rising into the hype. Now, if Team of the Weeks are needed for SBCs every 24 hours, we'll go and grab like an old Team of the Week. These cards normally peak on the Wednesday after 6 PM content, or Thursday before 6 PM content. So that's if we had the SBCs that are repeatable every day. Now, we're not going to go and get one of them on the Sunday, but we are likely to go and get them on the Monday. What can we see right here? In fact, he actually peaked on the... Yeah, no, there you go. Peaked on the Wednesday after 6 PM content at 60k. He did go back up again on the Thursday evening, but again, peaked there on the Wednesday. So, yeah, Team Leagues we're going to go and sell Wednesday after the 6 PM content whenever they stop rising. If not, you can go and sell Thursday before 6 PM. And I might as well just throw my 2 cents about fodder while I'm here. No point buying 83s. No point buying 83s if 84s are 2.5k. The utility of these is kind of rubbish unless it's maybe an 83 rated squad being needed. So I wouldn't recommend going with the likes of 83s. Yes, I understand they're a discard. 84s and 5s have the highest utility in terms of being needed for upgrade SBCs. Anything above an 85 has a lower chance of being needed unless it's rating specific needed, which you can't guarantee on. But yeah, 84s and 5s I'd also look at picking up Saturday anywhere from about 8 PM through to midnight, leaving out Sunday morning. And then again, don't think you'll get great pre-hype around these, so you kind of need to gamble on these being needed. There isn't much risk because very rarely does fodder go down from the Sunday price. So you can just hold on to these till Wednesday after 6 PM content because that is your peak on fodder every week. So that's 84s and 85s. 84s and 85s and Team of the Weeks are the only things that are needed for upgrade SBCs nowadays. So they're the only things that go up and down, up and down, up and down each week really regarding SBC fodder. So I think that's about wrapped it up. There you go, giving you guys my 2 cents on investing in Team of the Weeks. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys tomorrow with a brand new video.